jasmine, oolong, green, and white. Long ago, these 4 teas were skillfully brewed at the Blissful Brew. Then, everything changed when the shop's popularity threatened its existence. All Mr. Okuran, the shop's owner and tea master, could do was to recruit 4 teenage orphans to learn his trade and staff his shop. A year has passed since the orphans were hired, and although their skills have progressed, they still have a lot to learn before they can brew anything. But I believe that they have the potential to make the Blissful Brew the greatest tea shop in the world. Last time on Benders Brews, an Avatar Legends podcast.
You guys stepped through the portal on the outskirts of Gowling. The people that you contacted are right here waiting for you. So you're able to get kind of a nice look over a decent chunk of the city. Those Earth Nation guards seem to have been replaced with Fire Nation guards. Hot Leaf Juice elites. A handful of members of the Bloody Porcupine pirate crew.
Our goal is we need to get to the maze. We have a map to where the will for a tea shop is in that maze. We're here to save that tea shop. That tea shop is very important to the 4 of us.
What's so special about this tea shop?
This is our
home. It's my home, at least.
Once we get this will, we're gonna have to take it to that mayor's office.
All right, so you guys are there in front of the maze, and you've got this map, the pieces of the map to get you through the maze to where Mr. Okuran hid this will. You all enter the maze, and following the map over the course of maybe 10 minutes, you are able to reach the very spot. There is a box, and inside is a very fancy document, Mr. Okuran's will. There is a group of 4 pink-dressed Hot Leaf Juice elite employees that seem to have just been waiting for you. We serve Madame Yang's orders. All of a sudden, an arrow comes flying out from behind you. Coming out from the mansion are a group of well-dressed individuals, all wearing masks. It is Mr. Yotaku, and he says, "I said I'd help you out when the time came. You kids know that you're quite outmatched, so it would be in your best interest to just come with me quietly."
And that's when my dad says, "Not my favorite daughter."
Not my favorite and only daughter. And he leaps forward and slams his fist into the face of Bongo. "Going without me. I'm gonna finish these pirates off myself." Down kind of another dark alley here. Psst. Over here. Hey. Peeking around the corner, you can just barely see Chikra.
My BFF?
Yeah.
We want to help. So my dad's office is also in there.
You're able to make your way across, and your friends kind of help you, grab you at the end and kind of pull you over. So you guys have made it across, can open the window to the mayor's office. And eventually you're able to find Mr. Wu's office. And you open the door, and inside, Madame Yang and General Wang Long.
What are you going to do now?
What does Wang Long have to do with this, the whole tea shop?
Oh, General Long. He and I have been friends for quite some time. 20 years? 25, perhaps? So, getting the aid of him and his soldiers was simply a matter of asking.
And he just kind of nods, and he's like,
"What helps Hot Leaf Juice helps the Fire Nation's efforts."
Their tea is repulsive.
Says you.
Have you tried it?
Of course, I drink it daily.
She must have you under her spell, too. I'm gonna slap him, see if it gets him out of it.
Are you actually going to slap?
Wait.
Why
Are you doing a hand slap or a water slap?
Man, you ain't messing around today.
A hand slap to
Wake him up.
How dare you call her
you know,
tea
you
good?
have to do the hand touch, don't you? Or no, I guess we just hurt them and then they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" So I guess it didn't. It's fine. I committed.
Okay, do a push your luck.
Passion?
Yeah. Man. Like
6.
No,
7.
Oh, 7. Okay, so you're able to do it, but it's gonna cost you. You slap Mr. Wang Long
Yep.
across the face, and he turns to glare at you, and he, I imagine he probably like grabs you by the collar and just starts to lift you up into the air.
Bro.
And he says,
Nobody touches me.
Too little,
Almost-
too late for that. I
I really had to
did.
stop myself from saying like, nobody touches me
Wang
unless
Long.
I want. Another thing I had to stop myself from saying.
No one touches Wang Long.
No one
without his
touches me, Wang.
I'd like to step up. I'm calling back an old friend, Earth Sinking, something Madame Yang is much acquainted with. I don't even need to roll, because I can just mark 2 fatigue, but can I roll to see if I just do it successfully without fatigue?
Is that an option?
Oh, sink a mark 2 fatigue to trap an enemy.
Well, and we would jump into a combat exchange.
Well, my slap didn't
Well,
work that.
if we're rolling
Just
for it,
kidding.
I got a 12.
Okay.
And so I go to sink. So I rolled a 12.
Yes.
So I will first earth sink Madame Yang into the ground.
Okay.
She is effectively now marked as trapped.
Yes.
And so she is about like her waist is only sticking out.
Yes.
So now for dealing with Wang,
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna just try and, without the earth gauntlet, mind you, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna try to knock him off balance. So essentially what I'd like to try and do is just kind of still keeping at a distance. He essentially sticks his foot in the ground and like a little ridge comes up, like a little ramp comes up and sweeps him off his feet.
Okay. So, okay, perfect. So, are you trying to get him to mark a condition, basically, or you're trying to give him a status effect? I would say.
I would say he's probably impaired at the very least.
Okay, sounds good.
Or marks of fatigue if he falls.
Okay, so yep. Okay, so we're gonna say that this is a smash, because you're disabling something in the environment by something we're talking about, Wang Long, and it is going to force him to be. You said impaired, right?
Impaired or mark of fatigue. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So that's what'll happen. You sink Madame Yang into the floor, causing her to become trapped. She now will have to expend some fatigue in order to break herself out of this trap as she currently is, but we'll get to that later. Whatever the case, once you get that, I would say Wang Long is kind of surprised. He looks over, and as he looks over, you take that as an opportunity to jump forward and slam into him, knocking him backwards. He drops Mika, and he hits the back of the wall. He is now impaired. Books are probably falling down all over him or something along those lines. So he's a little bit off at the moment. Not necessarily taking any fatigue, but he is impaired. Is anybody else taking advance and attack? All right, Guo.
I am as well.
Oh, okay. Guo, what are you doing?
Oh, that's not great. I still got a 7.
Oh, well, hey, you still get to take one move.
You said, Mayor Yu.
Woo.
Woo.
And it's not mayor. He's just he's
Mr.
the office of deceased possessions. And then in
Auditor.
parentheses,
There's a term for
not
that.
possessions that are
Is he in
deceased,
here?
but the possessions.
He's tied
Yes, he
He's
is tied
tied
up
up to-
over in the corner. Yeah.
Tied up, like, to a chair.
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. Perfect.
I'm going to smash the chair.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Okay. So Guohan, you leap over the desk with some circus level deftness, and I don't know, punching the chair or.
Yeah, I guess I'll like put my hand in my rock collection bag
Okay.
and punch the chair.
Okay, sounds good. So you're kind of doing like maybe a lesser version of the Earth Gauntlet that Brock does. Okay.
A bag assisted version or something. I don't know.
So you're doing smash then, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So you mark a fatigue and you smash, you destabilize the environment around you by destroying this chair, and thereby, I would say, let's call it empowering the individual that was inside of it, which is Wu, the office person, for lack of better terms. So Wu is free. He starts to kind of he kind of pushes off the ropes that they had tied him in, because now they're loose because he's not being held to a chair anymore. And he's like, "Oh, thank you. We'll jump over to Ash.
Yes. So I walk over as this is happening, and I pull out my bow staff.
Start beating Madam.
And I pointed directly at Wang Long's face.
Okay. As he's kind of picking himself out of the books and wiping off all of the books off of him.
And I look at him and I say, "You recognize me now?"
And he kind of pauses for a second and he looks up at you. And then, as he looks, his eyes start to get wide and he says,
Wait a minute. You're the Brittany boy.
And as he says that, Bill turns his bow staff and fire comes at the end of it. But it's not going at him, it just starts burning at the end of the bow staff. And he goes, "I would stand down. You know what I've done before. You know what I'm willing to do, and I'm now willing to do it again."
"Dang.
Suck
Are
it.
you using pressure?"
Yeah.
All right. And
I rolled a 7, and I'm using pressure, and I don't want him to advance an attack.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. You see this fire that's coming out of your hands reflected in his eyes as his eyes grow wide. And whether it just be from the thought that I would go as far as to imagine that I think a lot of people in the Fire Nation, or at least the community that you were from, might honestly think that Ash is dead at this point. I mean, he just disappeared. They don't know where he went or where he is. I think there are a lot of people, especially, someone as callous as General Wang Long, probably saw the posters and thought, that boy's gone. He's probably dead. And so whether it be just an instance of realizing that you're not dead, you're still alive, and you're standing there right in front of him and holding the staff and the flames to him, I think all in all is just a lot of shock going through his head. And in his terror, he is unable to push himself to advance and attack. Madame Yang is definitely going to remove herself from the trapped position, so she's going to take some fatigue for that.
But how does she do it? I need
Yes.
to know.
Oh, I see. Okay,
It's
so
been eating him alive.
Yeah.
Is she an earthbender?
No, we already
if she's an
determined she
earthbender, then she's
wasn't.
the Avatar, because she just established that she's a firebender a couple episodes ago.
That's true.
Oh yeah. So how did she get out the first time?
Because
Her
one of
minions
her
or something
associates is an
stupid.
earthbender.
But how did they know she was in the ground?
I don't know.
I
There
heard
was
her
a bunch of them. I'm
screaming.
sure she's...
How can you hear somebody screaming under 6 feet of dirt?
I literally buried
That's
her
why they have
6
bells.
feet of stone.
She
she
just
rang the
started
bell.
clawing her way out. But I gotta finish what she's doing this time. Okay, so she breaks free from it. She's obviously furious. She too calls forth her flames as she rushes towards probably Brock, who put her in the ground in the first place.
I'm gonna put her in the ground
Again.
again.
And she is going to take 3 strikes against you.
Now, why would you go and do that?
Well, that's just, what it is. So you are going to have to make a set of either 2 fatigues each or mark conditions. So,
Well, what about balance shift?
nope, that's not an option.
Well, I guess I'll be angry,
That makes sense.
insecure, in trouble.
All right. As she strikes out with sort of these flame fist attacks, slamming into you, you feel all these sensations of burns across your body, possibly reminiscent of your time in the prison camp.
Well, I was going to do defensive maneuver.
Okay. And then what are you taking within that?
I'm going to seize a position,
Okay.
which means I can use my slippery eel hound,
Oh.
which means, reminder, foes must mark an additional 2 fatigue to stop me, and I can bring any allies within reach when I retreat. So would
Oh.
Mr. Office Boy
Oh, okay.
be within reach?
Yeah, sure. Now that he's out of the chair.
And who has the will?
Ooh, that's a good
Because I don't think that was
question.
ever determined.
I am gonna say that because he was leading the group,
Great.
Brock has the will.
Yeah, you made him leader.
It's true.
Is Brock by me as well?
Probably getting pummeled.
Yeah, he's
I'm
getting
not.
beat to crap by
Okay,
Madam
well
Yang.
then I'll take Mr. Man and we'll go to the opposite
Into
side
the
of the
office?
room.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that he's at least away from the evil people.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you pull him away so that he's out of the situation, safe away. He just turns to you and he's like, "Thank you, thank you." He just keeps saying thank you, whether it's to Guo or to you or whatever. He just turns to you and just starts kind of like bowing and saying thank you.
He's in shock.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe he'll extend our
Oh yeah,
deadline.
well, I'll give you 24 more hours. You do actually. It's a good thing that you pointed that out because as you look outside, it is starting to.
Bro.
Sunset is about to begin. You see the colors of the sky start to begin changing into their various tones. As far as business
Can I
hours
say that
go
I
for
yell
this
at Brock
office,
as
you're
I'm
running
running?
out of time.
Can I say I yell at Brock as I'm running?
Yeah. As long as you say what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying Brock.
Oh.
To try and get his attention to see that, hey, I have Mr. Man.
He looks
Hint,
over
hint.
and immediately gets just punched by Madam Yang again. Not like in addition. It's like one of
That's
the
one of
punches.
them
Yeah.
gets distracted.
Yeah.
Do I like fly back or am I still?
No. She's not. It's not those kind of punches. It's not like big, huge
It's just
punches.
like,
It's
boxing
just-
punches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we get to Wang Long. So he is staring up at Bill directly into his eyes, and he says, and this is kind of an interesting use of this move, I think. He says,
So, you kill your brother, and then you run away, abandoning the family, leaving them to mourn.
and he is doing a move called Seek Vulnerability. So he's looking for a weak point, in this case, kind of emotionally. And this will apply to the next time that he is able to deal fatigue or a condition to you. It allows him to shift your balance as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what he's doing. And then aside from that, because he gets a couple other moves as well, he's basically just gonna bolster himself to stand up, and he's going to become prepared for whatever comes next. So then we go into the next exchange. Who is taking Defend a Maneuver? Defend a
I
Maneuver.
am.
Okay, sounds good. Bill, what are you doing with
Wait,
Defend
am
a
I the
Maneuver?
only one taking defend and maneuver?
Like, is this the next exchange?
Are we
Yes.
next round?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm advanced.
I'm going to as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Defended.
Yes. All right, let's start with Ash. That was quite the roll there.
15.
15?
Correct.
Holy
Oh, the plus
crap.
two
Whoa.
multiplier.
Wow. All right, sounds good.
Max roll.
Yeah, absolutely. That's insane. All right. Well, you get 2 techniques from the Defend a Maneuver approach.
Well, I need to get Brock out of here, so I'm gonna be like, Brock, you gotta go again. Get out of here. I can take both of them.
That ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna.
You've got you know what, and I'm like,
You're insecure.
and I like shove him, like I kind of like back into him. And
Okay.
I like kind of take a power stance between, basically the two of them. I see
Yeah.
it like coming at us, and Brock is like kind of between both of them. So I'm basically taking a stance where I'm like between both of them and Brock.
Yeah.
And I am just, I'm gonna divert,
Okay.
which is any attacks that Brock I will take.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use a retaliate. So each time a person hits me while I'm redirecting that, they'll take damage back.
Nice. That's a good combo. That's a really good combo. Like, you're forced to attack me, and then I'm gonna deal damage to you when you do. That's a solid one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. And then Guohan, you are also using a Defend a Maneuver.
Yes.
With what did you roll?
I got a 7.
7. Okay, perfect. You can take a move.
So I guess I want to go over to Brock, and I don't know what when you move to a new location, is that
A full season position.
what does that entail?
I think like within a
That's
small room like this, it's not really that big of a deal,
okay.
you know.
I'm gonna run over to Brock, and I'm going to take cover in the form of like pulling up a small earth wall.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
going to say, Brock, do you have the will?
I think so.
In the way?
Yeah, it's right here.
Quick, hand it over.
I'll give it over to Guo.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna hide the will, tuck it in my robe, and run over to Mika
Okay, sounds good. Awesome.
and hand it and say, "I've got the will."
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to say that because he cannot take the advance and attack, General Wang Long is also taking seize a position. He is readying himself to give himself... so he's going to give himself favored as he kind of prepares himself to take this attack. He's kind of shaking himself off of this sort of intense realization, this surprise, and so on and so forth, as far as Bill goes. And then he's also going to retaliate to prepare himself for incoming attacks from whoever that might be. I think he is pretty well focused on Bill at this point, given the sort of attention grabber that Bill has used, or Ash rather. Is anybody using advance and attack?
I'll be using advanced attack.
Okay, sounds good. What are you? Oh, did you roll?
Well, yes, I rolled a 12, but
Oh,
I would
wow.
also like to invoke my winning is everything.
Oh boy, here we
So,
go.
Where, pray tell, are Wang Long and Madame Yang in relation to me at this very moment?
Well, Madame Yang is... Oh man, I like to think that Madame Yang is right behind a rock wall that Guo just threw up between the two of you. And then Bill is also standing there kind of by your side. And I would say that Wang Long is to his left in front of him. And Madame Yang, again, is to just off to his right behind this wall that Guo just put up.
So, okay, roll with me on this.
Okay, I got my dice.
Roll with me on this. So I would like to take the earth-bending abilities that I have
Okay.
to essentially form small spears, right?
Oh.
That will pin them to the back wall of this room,
Pin both of them?
if possible. And then if they're next to each other, the next plan would be to then drop kick them both through said wall. Because with this condition, I am then favored in the next exchange.
Right.
And I am able to add an additional basic or mastered technique. And I would imagine that falls under Smash because I'm destroying said wall.
Right.
So essentially, I plan to ninja star them to the wall.
Right.
Rocks. And then drop kick them out of the room.
Okay. Okay.
Like kind of jump up and just kind of
So your whatever it takes to win or whatever it's called move, I mean, that's going to apply to one person.
gosh, dang it, man.
So you get your pick. I mean, I'm all for this plan for sure, but you're going to have to take your pick on who it is you're going to do this to.
Well, it makes most sense for me to do it to Wang Long. However, Madame Yang seems to be the more prevalent threat at the moment. I should probably do it to Madame Yang.
Okay.
So, from behind the thing, I kind of pop up, ninja star over the top of the wall.
You could probably lower it if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna stop you from doing
Or
that.
you could use it.
Or use it.
Or
Or yeah, you use the wall itself and then just like push out.
Push her and pin her against the wall using just the wall.
Oh
and then
yeah.
then I drop the slab.
Okay. All right.
Essentially forming a Madame Yang shaped hole. in the wall.
The slab replaces the wall perfectly, but there's a hole behind it that got created as you hear her go, whoa! She gets thrown into the other room. Okay, perfect. So you use your first move to your sort of like dirty fighting. This is going to shift your balance twice, I believe.
Yes, it shifts my balance twice. I would imagine it goes towards force.
Yes, I would agree. And then the second move that you're using, I'm guessing, is Smash.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you're going to take a fatigue for that, and you are, let's see.
Well, I mean, if I'm taking a fatigue regardless, then I'll use my Earth Gauntlet, because then that marks 2 fatigue on Wang Long. Because if a Smash only
You're
charges...
smashing.
Well, she's going to take a...
Yeah. So I think I'm all set.
I'm gonna say that she's once again trapped because she's not even in the room anymore. So in order to get back into the room, she's going to have to exert herself in some way, shape, or form, whatever that looks like.
I imagine she just, like, if I keep doing this, she's just going to try and, like, claw her way and just collapse.
Yeah, something like that.
She's going to keep using all this fatigue just to get back in the fray.
Yeah. She's gonna weaken herself for sure. And so, in fact, she does, because it's her turn. Nobody else is using advance and attack, right?
We're all done.
Okay, perfect.
I haven't done
What about
anything.
Misha? She's gotta go.
Yeah, but she's gonna
guessing she's
do
evading.
different, yeah.
I think so.
Where did I put my pencil?
She can take the mayor
Oh,
of
right.
Mr. Wu and get out of there.
Just gets it stamped and we're done.
Yep, that's true. Okay, so Madame Yang is taking 3 fatigue once again. What you see is that from the other side of this wall, similar to like Star Wars Episode 1, where Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi stab through the door with their lightsabers, so does Madame Yang stab through a chunk of wall with her incredibly hot fire-bending skills, and just kind of carves out a circle, exerting a lot of her bending ability and energy in order to do so. But she cuts a hole through the wall and kicks it through, and steps through it. She just looks ragged. I mean, her hair is a mess. Her outfit is filthy at this point, covered in dust from your attack. And of course, she looks royally upset. So she used that to get through. And then she is going to rush forward, and once again, in her rage, in her insanity, she is going to strike 3 times. These are going to be headed to Bill. So Bill, you're going to take a combination of 3 sets of either 2 fatigue or conditions, but you are dealing how much back to her?
6.
6 fatigue?
Yeah.
So you expertly and nimbly fight back with your bow staff, able to maybe not necessarily dodge her attacks, because obviously you're taking them, but every time she hits you, you're able to return that blow with another blow. She is now angry and I would say troubled, as well as incredibly exhausted. Fantastic. Last but not least, we have Mika. Mika, what are you doing? You're doing evade and observe. All right. So you clear fatigue. Did you roll?
I'm pretty sure that's just a 5.
You want to take the fatigue?
It's not, it's a 6, but still 9.
Do you have any fatigue right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you clear a fatigue, and then you would gain a fatigue if you would like to use. So you could just leave it as is. Yeah.
Yep.
If you'd like to use a move. Anyways, so what are you doing?
I am going to, I think, bolster or hinder,
Okay.
which means I can aid or impede a nearby character inflicting an appropriate status,
Okay.
which the only ones near to me is
Guo and the guy,
office guy.
Mr. Wu.
Can I make him inspired?
Mr. Wu?
Yeah, he's a little chicken right now, so I want to get his head in the game so he'll sign the stupid will.
So he just like snaps out of it. Okay, so what are you saying to him?
I'm not very good at his
You slap.
Yeah, I was gonna say or do. What do you say or do? I like that actually. That'd be hilarious.
I would, yeah, I'll slap him and I'll say, dude, focus.
Focus. Yes. What?
Sign the will, bro.
The will? And he looks over at the paper. Guohan has it, right?
I gave
Yeah.
it to me.
And you gave it to Mika. Okay, so Mika, you slap down the
All right,
paper in
well,
front
I
of
didn't,
him.
but I said I had it.
And he looks at it and he goes, "Oh yes, of course, Mr. Okuran's will. You're the kids. I remember you from the funeral. Yes, of course." And he's looking around. He's like, I need a pen.
What?
So, somebody get me a
I have one. I draw on the hem of my dress all the time.
Oh yeah, that's a fun fact.
Oh my gosh, a fun fact coming into play.
Suck it.
You hand him the pen.
Do not.
No, I'm just saying he's taking it.
Oh,
and then
butter,
we'll
I
go
just ate
into
some
the next
popcorn.
exchange and see what happens.
We're
Okay,
gonna do another exchange.
we'll do one more exchange just to see where things go from here. Who's taking defend and maneuver?
I am.
I probably should.
Okay, all right, that's 2. All right, guys, roll for it.
What do I roll with again?
11.
Focus.
9.
9. Okay, so
I think can I?
Sure.
Because could I like ready myself in for oncoming? Like if he's gonna sign it, like I would like to watch and make and prevent damage
Anything
coming
from
our way.
coming
Yeah.
your way? Yeah. No, absolutely. Go for it. Roll with focus as well.
13.
Holy cow, you guys. Saving all your big rolls for the very end. Okay, so, Brock, you're
That's
getting...
the best I've ever rolled.
That is a phenomenal roll. Jeez, especially for right now. Okay, Brock, you are... We'll start with you. You get 1 move.
I will seize a position.
Seize a position. What position are you seizing?
I will get into a place where I can protect Mr. Wu.
Okay.
In this exchange.
Okay.
I will just sort of ready myself over there to... Or,
You don't even know what's going on, Mr. I'm gonna throw people out the wall.
I mean, it's working.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna do ready then.
Well,
I mean, you can move over there.
I'll say seize a pit. Well, I would imagine he seized. Well, if Guohan took the will from him and went over towards
That's
Mika,
true.
he would. I would imagine he ain't that smart, but he would probably at least know that.
Oh, okay.
Some importance going on over there.
All right. You get to overcome a negative status effect if you have one.
I have several.
You have conditions, but not necessarily a negative status effect. Like doomed.
Yeah, these are your statuses.
Yeah, no, I ain't got none of those.
Okay, you're safe from those, but that's okay. You take up a position and you are guarding anyone from getting. You know, somebody would have to definitely exert a little bit extra energy if they wanted to get past you and attack Mr. Wu or stop him from what he's doing. So awesome, fantastic. Ash, you had a 10, 11. Okay, perfect. So you get 2.
I'm doing basically the same thing with
Okay.
diverting into retaliate, but I'm like standing a little more like. So Brock moves out of the room, and now everyone is out of the room. So Bill's basically gonna take a defensive stance, like right at the doorway, and it's like anyone who wants out of this room has to go through me.
Oh, okay. So we're saying perfect, awesome. And then, are you doing anything else as well? So you had retaliate
and to divert, which is if any of my allies were to get attacked, it goes to me.
Sounds good. Awesome. Very good. Very good. So you take up a stance probably like right next to Brock.
Basically,
I would say. So the two of you are basically blocking anyone from getting to Mr. Wu. And then who else? Mika, you said you were also going to do a defend a maneuver.
Yeah.
And then you rolled a 13, so
Yeah.
you get to pick 2 moves.
Oh, well, I was gonna ready.
Okay. So you are ready. I would say that you are prepared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inspired and.
Yeah, I
you
am
could double
inspired.
Oh wait, yeah, I'm also.
Oh, already.
Remember, because
Yeah. Yes, the hug had left you guys inspired.
can I like ready and retaliate?
Yeah, absolutely. So you ready? So basically, the 3 of you all take a stance next to each other.
A wall.
Yes, it is absolutely just to make sure that this man can sign this dang will. Just out of curiosity, Guohan, what approach were you planning on taking?
Evade and observe.
Okay, so
That's
that's
gonna
gonna
write
be
this all in his memoir.
That's right. That's going to be bottom of the list. So, obviously, I would say that both Madame Yang and Wang Long are both going to do advance and attack. And they are going to... I mean, all they can really do at this point is all just full strikes. So, I would say that between Mika and Bill, they're both going to strike 3 times. So that means between the 2 of you, however you guys decide, there's 2 fatigues each of these strikes.
I take 4 of them.
Oh wow.
And basically Bill, I'm taking any attack to me.
Okay.
So 4 of the 6 go to Bill. And Bill like stumbles to the ground, lands on his knee, right?
Okay.
And then as like they're starting to make like a break past them to go towards like Mika or whatever, I'm gonna use a move I haven't used yet called Not Done Yet.
I ain't heard no bell.
Which is basically once per in exchange or in full encounter, I basically once I lose all of my condition everything, I can basically recenter myself, stand back up, and just can go until the end of that exchange before I fall unconscious.
Wow, okay.
So I basically stand back up, and as they try to like rush through, I take the final 2 blows as well.
Oh wow, okay.
And each blow is 6, so I deal 6 more fatigue back to both of them.
Holy cow. Okay, so
Well,
here's
sheesh, I should have
what
done something
happens.
different.
Well, in case of
If anything went to crap,
to be fair,
I mean,
you guys have never seen Bill do this, so.
okay, so I imagine that both of them kind of come at you guys just straight away, and
Maybe my friends catch me.
yeah, that's right.
They
We're like, you're not done.
They
Get
Scott
up there."
Sterling me. They pick my limp body up and force me to take more attacks.
Pulling a Tobey Maguire
You and
Spider-Man.
shield.
So yeah, I like that. So
He can take it.
Madam Yang and Wang Long leap forward, and before Mika can even step in and start, taking these blows, Bill immediately jumps in. He's used to this. This has kind of been your thing pretty much this entire game, is that you have stepped forward and taken the blows for somebody else. So immediately the two of them, in an angry rush, seeing Mr. Wu behind the three of you, this wall that you've created, starting to reach down with this pen, and he's about to sign these papers, and all they have to do is they need to stop him from doing this. They rush forward and just with reckless abandon start wailing on Bill, who's not only taking every blow but dealing some back, until all of a sudden Bill falls to his knee. He starts to lose his balance. He falls backwards, but behind Bill is Mika and Brock, and he looks over and he can see Guo over in the corner of the rooms as well, doing his part. And
Mom was here too.
that's right. And they pick him up off the ground, and he shakes himself a little bit. He kind of brings himself back. He recenters himself as he thinks about his amazing friends that he's had this entire time, who will always have his back and are at the ready to bring him back up again. And he takes another fighting stance. Madam Yang throws another punch. Bill takes it straight up right in the chest, and immediately uppercuts with his bow staff, knocking Madam Yang backwards, who just falls to the ground, her hair a mess. She's crazed, her eyes moments ago just with this horrifying look of just anger and sort of villainy, honestly.
Death.
Evil, maybe. And
could kill.
she falls to the ground, and she does not get back up. He looks over at Wang Long, someone that's kind of been a villain in his eyes ever since he was a kid. Wang Long strikes out again. Once again, Bill takes the hit in the shoulder and returns it, putting Wang Long in a difficult position, not unconscious like his associate, but definitely weakened. Wang Long is still up, but we do still have Guohan with his evade and observe. What are you doing? Or what did you roll, I guess, first of all?
I rolled a 13.
Holy yeah! You guys with your high rolls at the end. All right, so what is Guohan doing, who's still in the room?
So Guohan, seeing Wang Long still up and attack, he's gonna say, "Eat dirt,
A classic Guohan line.
you flamin' leaf steamer."
Wait, she's dead though, isn't she?
I know, it would have worked better for her, but
No, it's good. It's good. I like it.
um,
He's an associate of a flaming leaf
he
steamer.
drinks the tea.
That's true. He's a part of the problem.
So that move causes him to stumble and
Oh.
lose his footing.
What is the move you're doing? Just out of curiosity, what is it called?
It's called Eat Dirt.
Oh, okay. You weren't kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
It's called Eat
So you're
Dirt.
just you're just ragging on this dude from a distance. Yeah, leaf steamer.
So he's impaired and unable to choose defend and maneuver in the next exchange.
Oh wow.
So he kind of trips,
Yeah,
sprawls on the ground, and he's wide open for counterattack.
It's kind of like the classic. What's the typical bard move? And
Vicious mockery.
Yes, it's a classic vicious mockery. Guo shouts this insult at him, and for a moment he's just so thrown off at this point. He just got wailed on, and then on top of it, he's feeling insecure, and I'm gonna mark that as such because he's feeling insecure because he's getting wailed on by a group of kids. And not only is he insecure and therefore vulnerable, then all of a sudden this other kid from the back of the room shoots an insult his way. And it's just that little tipping point to just really slap his ego into place. And he kind of steps back just a little bit, maybe out of physical exhaustion, but also out of just a sense of mental exhaustion as he's slammed by this insult. So
Well,
you have
this
one
one's
more
more
move.
just for fun. I'm gonna bolster Mr. Wu. I keep saying it. Mr. Wu. And I'm gonna open my pouch and take out Dilbert and say, need some ink? Dilbert squirts some ink into my hand and I hold it up.
What an unexpected twist! We got Dilbert in the finale! And you rush over, and sure enough, as he's touching down to the paper initially, he's like, oh no, there's no ink! And then all of a sudden, Guo reaches, like I like to imagine you don't even come out of the room, you just reach between like Brock and Mika or something. And there's a handful, like a palm full of just ink. And he just kind of looks at it and goes, oh, thanks. And he dips his little quill pen in there and he reaches down and he signs Mr. Okuran's will.
Hey everyone, Skylar here. Are you a fan of Session Zero Heroes and the shows we produce, or the characters involved? Then you should check out our epic merch we have available online. From shirts to stickers and everything in between, we worked hard on creating a variety of designs and made sure to get your favorite characters on those products as well. Whether you're looking for Brock Lee on a hoodie to wear to the gym with you, or maybe Fizzlefinger's tote bag to stuff your ill-gotten gains in, we've got you covered. Just head over to our website at sessionzeroheroes.com and click on our merch tab to see all the amazing products and designs that you can get. Now back to the show.
With Okuran's will signed, the remainder of your fight against Wang Long is short. Seeing his allies unconscious and the mission failed in the form of the drying ink on the document in your hands, he leaps out the office window, using his firebending to propel him to the ground below. He shouts some quick orders to his men to retreat from the city, and by the time you can rush to the shattered window, they're already fleeing towards the outskirts of Gaoling. Almost immediately, the people of the city begin to rush out of their homes, chasing the pirates and the pink-clothed hot leaf juice employees from the town, which shortly before was held hostage by these villains. You all, on the other hand, don't focus on this as tears well up in your eyes, looking at the document that you have searched the world for, resting in your hands, signed with your names listed as the new owners of the Blissful Brew.
Mika's definitely not crying.
Oh, she's just bending the water really quick out of her eyes so that nobody can tell.
I'm pretty sure Bill's knocked out.
Bill is probably unconscious or like barely awake.
Yeah.
And he's crying for many reasons because of it.
I've been so much
I've been hurt.
As the sun comes to a rest over the city of Gaoling, causing the shades of orange and violet to drift into darker, cooler colors, notifying the city citizens that the time to turn on the various lamps and lanterns that float above their streets and storefronts, 4 exhausted teens step out from the mayor's office, their goal, one that only spanned the last week but possibly influencing the rest of their lives, finally complete. A new sheet of paper is clenched firmly in Bill, or should I say Ash's hand, one that symbolizes the entire life of the teen's old friend, now passed on to the rightful recipients. As the team walks the streets of the city they've begun to call home, they watch as the light of the Fire Nation soldiers disappears in the distance, their proverbial tails between their legs. The pirate crew nowhere to be seen, and Madame Yang being thrown out of the city by the local guards, along with all her cronies. Slowly and wearily, they approach their friends, who help them along the way and stand at attention with gleaming smiles, knowing the final hour has come to a close with an overarching victory for their side. You all make your way to the outskirts of town where the spirit portals brought you, and awaiting you are new portals for your allies to return home. Sora turns to Brock before offering a hug to her old friend, a gleam of hope sparkling in her eyes.
I can give her a bro hug.
Yeah, you give her a bro hug,
Like
which
dap
almost
her up.
adds insult to injury, probably. She seems disappointed by this.
Wouldn't it be funny if we kissed?
That's just saying.
She insists that the two stay in touch. She offers to write letters to Brock, to which Brock replies,
I mean, I can't really read, so.
She's like, I mean, I can.
Don't
send
worry,
you-
Brock, we got you.
She stands a bit flabbergasted at this as she looks at the muscle-bound man in front of her before suggesting a new plan. She offers to stick around for a little while, take some PTO from the exhausting missions of the rescue team squadron to dedicate towards an equally exhausting task, helping Brock learn to read.
Yeah, we could use some extra hands around the Blissful Brew.
Although woefully frustrated with the constant hit and miss of romance with Brock, Sora still retains hope that maybe Brock might catch on, and who knows, even share these feelings with her. She informs MacTuck of her plan, and he agrees to pass the news along before he turns to his daughter.
Mika, I obviously, I'd like to come back here. I'm gonna go kind of finish things up with the rescue team squadron, and I mean, if you want me to, I can come back here and maybe we could set up a place and, I don't know, figure things out.
Play catch?
Sure, we could do that.
That sounds like a great plan, Dad.
Sounds good.
And with that, MacTuck steps through the portal to head back to the camp and settle his business with the rescue team squadron. 2 portals remain. Mayu Yinyu holds out his hand for a shake towards Guohan, who takes it and pulls him in for a hug.
Thanks for coming to the continued dad tryouts. I mean, thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure thing. You kids are great. Love hanging out with you guys. You do good stuff. And hey, if you ever want to go on stage sometime, maybe we could do a performance together. So I've heard you play. Maybe do some acting.
That would be amazing.
All right. Well, I'll definitely come swinging by in Gaoling here in the near future. Maybe we can put on a show or even do one of those open mic nights or something.
I know a few good spots.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. That's what I'm always looking for, Good places to eat, get good food. I try to stick with only the best. I'll see you later. And he jumps into a portal and he heads off. Bill stands before his brother, Ember. It's been years since the two had seen each other, and so many emotions swirl around their hearts and minds like stormy seas. Ember teeters on 2 ends of an emotional seesaw. On one side, he's ecstatic to know his brother is alive and to be here with him. On the other, he's desperate to return home to tell the rest of his family, who have feared for the worst for years. So, where do we go from here?
I was thinking we go home.
You want to come back home?
Yeah.
Will the portal let both of us go through?
I don't know. It was some weird spirit animal opened it for us. I don't know if we can both go through the portal.
Well, I'd hate to have it not work for you when you go through.
Yeah.
Or try to go through, and then you have to make the journey by yourself on foot and see.
I mean, if we want to play it safe, you could just come with me.
And just go with you. Non-spirit
Yeah,
realm?
just on a boat or something, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds great.
Plus, I think...
Those pirates might get you.
Oh, well, I've got connections with the pirates. Not good ones, but I've got connections.
That sounds like a story you're gonna have to tell me on the way home.
Yeah, but I mean, I still gotta recover before we make a trip back home.
Sure. I mean, we can get a night's rest.
Yeah, I'm kind of beat up.
You look pretty beat up. I don't think I'd want mom and dad to see you
With
looking
both
like
my
this.
black eyes.
Yeah.
And...
So even if we could get through the portal, I feel like that would be a bad
no.
look on me and so on.
Plus, I should help these guys get the shop all cleaned up so they can do their grand reopening.
Are you sure you want to leave them here? Or I mean, I don't know. It sounded like this tea shop really meant a lot to you.
It does mean a lot to me, but I think the tea shop I was meant to be here, but I wasn't meant to stay here. if that makes sense. And I think I need to go back home and help Dad fight the fight on the home front.
I know everybody would be happy to see you back home. Are your friends okay with you heading out?
Oh,
Do they know?
No.
Oh, do you need to talk to them?
I probably should talk to them.
Okay.
Like right now I should talk to them?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if we have to leave in the morning.
Well, I could say goodbye to them then. Or we sneak out in the morning after, before it's too late.
That doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
That's not the right thing to do. But I know I need to go home. I'm done running.
All right. Well, I'll travel with you.
That'd be nice.
All right. As Ash and his brother make this final decision, the final portal closes. And with tired eyes and heavy heads, the teens and Bill's brother and Sora finally reach their home, the Blissful Brew tea shop. It looks just as they had left it when they began their treasure hunt a week ago, with scattered, broken furniture and teacups fragmented across the floor. A mess that could wait until tomorrow. For now, it was time to rest. Bill finds a spot for his brother, and the group takes a long and much-needed sleep, letting the night wash over them, relieving their pains and fatigue of their long adventure, calming their minds with pleasant dreams, and filling their hearts with the hopes of what is to come. Bill awakes the next morning with the hour nearly at noon. He felt a bit sore from all of yesterday's wounds, but with a good stretch and a bath, he already could feel his body rejuvenating. He comes down the stairs of the tea shop and finds the place tidied up, and the smell of hot cakes and citrus tea greets his nose. He was surprised to find the remaining members of the Wild Coyote Boars were there enjoying a hot breakfast that seemed to be made by Guohan and Ember, each with an adorable Blissful Brew apron draped over themselves.
The time is can't be that. It's
almost noon, bro.
Well, I guess I'll grab some food and sit down next to all of them. I'm guessing they're all just out here eating.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think everybody's either out there eating
Brock
or maybe
doesn't need to be in the kitchen.
cleaning up a thing or two.
Honestly, I feel like Brock is looking at that gemstone that he got like 6 episodes ago, and he's like,
dude, it was a season ago.
it was a whole season
It was in
ago.
season 2, like episode 3.
He's just kind of like tossing it up in the air, like in his hand. It's like, I really want to know what this thing does. Imagine we get one last
and sitting next to you is Sora, and she's got a piece of paper in front of you, and she's like, Brock, hey, you're not paying attention. It's an A. Say A. A says A. Or A if it's next to like a Y.
A.
Okay, good job. And then this is a B. B. It goes B.
B. B.
B.
B. And A. Man, we're flying through this.
We're
How many
really
more
cooking
letters
here.
we gotta do?
There's 26 in total.
Oh,
That's not that many.
No, I was lying. I wasn't doing good at all. Maybe I just
B. Hey, B's the first letter of your name.
It is
Brock.
It is. Whoa.
Yeah,
You
so
didn't
we're
recognize
we're
it? That's like
step
one
closer.
word you knew how to read.
Well, okay. You're eating hotcakes right now.
Yeah.
You can,
I'm sitting right next to you, Brock.
yeah. Well, shut up.
Okay.
Bill Ember comes over. I don't know if I should be calling you Bill or Ash. I don't know. It just feels like the whole series has been Bill, but I'm the game master, so I'm not outside of the world per se.
It's whatever feels right. But if it was the only catch is if it's my brother talking to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, if it's him talking to you, yeah.
If it's just you, I don't care.
Well, Bill Ember comes over and sits next to you, and he says, while you were sleeping, I snuck in and I kind of got things packed for you to try to help kind of mitigate the whole process because I figured you'd probably be pretty tired. So I got some luggage over there for you, ready to go.
Does everyone hear this?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Oh, did you tell them?
No, I didn't tell him yet.
Oh.
I figured this was like the moment.
Well, yeah, it is.
I don't know. Sorry.
I finished eating
Maybe
it,
maybe
so-
I overstepped my bounds.
No, it's fine. I had this. But
Luggage? What? We just got back. You going somewhere?
Yeah,
Can I come?
I'm going home. I mean, if you want to come to the Fire Nation, sure, but I figured
Who's gonna wash the dishes?
exactly. It's a fair point. So yeah, I need to go home. I've grown a lot, but I've learned that
You could continue to keep growing before you go back.
I don't know. You look about the same height as when I met you.
I'm actually about 2 inches taller, but thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
No, I was mostly running because of fear and shame, but I feel like I've redeemed myself and also forgiven myself. And now I don't feel scared to go home anymore. But this isn't against you guys. You guys are amazing. You're my new family. And I don't hate any of you guys. I love all of you. But I have a family back home with Ember and my mom and dad and my other friends. And to be honest, part of the reason I ran was because my dad was being forced to work for Wang Long and make weapons for him. And he was using my family as like blackmail. Like he was threatening to kill us. And so I kind of ran because I didn't want one more thing to be on my dad's shoulders. That's how I knew him, Brock. So
Oh.
yeah, but
Yeah, he just imprisoned me and my family. He's, yeah. That's all he did to me.
I think we got back at him.
I'd say we did. You know,
Yeah.
where is he right now? Where's Wang Long right now?
He's running away with his tail between his feet.
Well, actually, it's really funny you mention that because he's been gone over the last couple of weeks from the Fire Nation doing stuff over here, as we obviously saw. And Dad's actually been trying to figure out a possible plan. So if we can get back before they do.
That's a great idea. We have a head start on
Yeah.
him too.
How about I hand Bill the gem?
What's this?
Remember that rock monster?
I'm not really sure.
Remember that rock monster that I killed thanks to nobody else's help?
Oh wow! All the way back on the trail.
Yeah, remember that guy? Well, this
Yeah.
gem came out of him. I have no idea what it does, but it might be his poop.
We
don't know.
kind of holds it tentatively with like 2 fingers.
Grabs a napkin.
Grabs a napkin and stuffs it into his pouch. He goes, "Well, thanks, Brock."
Yeah, there's no use.
He's giving me worse things.
Hey, you know what? I don't know what to do with this, but my dad's a super smart guy, and he's an inventor. So I'm pretty sure if anyone knows anything to do with it, it'd be him.
Yeah, there's no sense in me keeping it. It's not going to help dishwashing.
Imagine if it did, though.
Imagine if it did.
Just have a giant mountain
you
golem
could be promoted.
washing.
You own the shop now.
Oh, you don't want me owning this shop. I can't do
I mean, technically-
It's
invoices.
literally on the deed.
Technically, all four
of our names
So
are on the
even
deed.
Bill technically has like part ownership, even though he'll be
Absolutely
Oh,
gone.
he's not
He's
collecting
waving it
royalties
off.
I'm
off
waving.
of our hard
I'm
work.
gonna waive ownership. I'm gonna waive mine to Guo.
I see. So Guo gets 50% of stakes, and
Leaving the two of you at 25% each, which doesn't give you room for any
literally
power.
nothing.
Yeah, you get paid out, but you don't have power.
Guo owns all like ownerships. And
But
all.
Guo says, "All right, now I'm gonna start getting some orphan children from the Earth Nation and put them to work in a factory."
Or he's gonna need a shop running hat.
No, I think what we need to do with that 25% is reinvest it into the shop to help it grow, and also fund
Charity.
A non-profit organization.
fund like a charity for in Mr. Okuran's honor
Ooh, that's a good idea.
to keep him alive and part of this community. You know, since he's had such a big impact on it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could set aside funds for
annual block party.
He loved that.
The Okuran block party.
Okuran block party.
Great reference. That's a great throwback right there.
Imagine if we went with the block party idea.
And there's
This whole campaign would be so different.
We just be throwing parties.
Part of the block party is a snapping contest to see like who can snap the loudest.
But I think it's time for me to go. And I'm going to have to leave before I start crying a mess. So before I leave, though, I think I'll just go around the table. Brock,
Yeah.
don't stop being you. Nothing will stop you if you're being yourself.
I don't know how to be anybody else.
You're the strength that holds everyone here together. And your ability to shake off anything is what will keep them strong in any storm.
Mm.
So be their rock.
Yeah. And I go up to Bill, just give him a hug that Sora wishes she got.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is there like back rubbing or something? Is this an intimate?
I was more imagining you're squeezing the life out of me. I'm like,
Yeah, like one of those like
It's one of those squeeze hugs.
I'm still bruised.
like from SpongeBob where Patrick just like is crushing Squidward. One of them hugs.
One of them good hugs.
Oh, thanks, Brock.
Yeah, bring it in, brother. Yeah.
And then Bill falls and kind of like gets back up. It's like, okay. Mika, you're the sister I've never had.
Oh, that's a lot nicer than I thought you were going to say.
I know we had back and forths, and when anyone was fighting, it was usually us two. But
You know, I hear that's what siblings do. I
That's
never
what-
know because I never had
and
one.
like I said, you guys are my family, and you're the sister I never had, and I'm gonna miss you. And yeah, I mean,
I probably won't.
I was
miss
gonna
you.
say keep being you, but I can't really say that to everyone. But
I was waiting for you to say, Mika, change.
Literally, don't be you.
Don't be yourself.
Be anyone
The best
but
you
yourself.
You could be is not
you.
No.
but in all seriousness, I hope that you and your dad can regrow your life here together when he comes back. I'm glad you were able to find him again.
Me too. I mean, thanks.
You're welcome. And I go in to give her a hug.
I do not let him give me a hug.
It's fine.
It turns into one of those awkward like.
To be fair, Bill was expecting that going in, so
It was a half-hearted and Mika just weaves out.
This is the hug that Sora does get from us.
I hugged Bill enough for the both of us.
Yes.
Don't worry.
And then when Bill turns to look at Guohan, a tear is in his eye. And he's like, Guo, you were my baby brother. I lost my brother in the fires 3 years ago, and well, in a way, you replaced him for me. You can never replace Blaze, but I felt like I could be that protector of you, like I wish I could have been for him. And growing and learning and seeing you grow, it felt like that part of me that I thought I was going to lose was still there. So you didn't know it, but you did way more for me than you would have ever known. So thank you.
Hug me, brother.
And if anyone were to notice, I think Ember watches you two hug, and he has tears running down his eyes as well, and a little bit of a smile, just kind of like somewhat fulfilling, as he watches that.
Bill releases from the hug and goes, I know I probably just made it a lot harder for me to leave, Guo, but I'm going to have to still leave.
Oh, just make sure you come visit. And feel free to bring your dad.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd love to bring my family back here and show them the shop. I mean, I was here for so long, it's a part of me, and I think they'd be proud of what we did. Especially when I tell them and Ember the story of how we got the shop back. I think they'll think that's pretty cool, so. But with that, Bill walks over and grabs his stuff and his bow staff.
Nice.
And stands next to Ember and says, with that, it's time for me to go.
The refreshing morning mood turns to a somber tone as Ember assists Bill in packing up the last of his things before the two of them start to make their way to the city's edge, with the gang following close behind. Mika, Guo, and Brock each force a loving smile to mask the pain in their eyes as they maintain a final goodbye wave to Ash as he and his brother eventually disappear over a hill on their way to the ocean side. Another week goes by, back at the city of Gaoling, as the Wild Coyote Boars help the 3 of the 4 original teens put the shop back together. Using the money they still had, the same funds that ironically were intended to pay off the gang, are instead used to purchase new furniture as well as refresh some of the aging aspects of the tea shop, bringing it to a new, fresh state. The remaining members of the once villainous gang now begin working at the very tea shop they had once bullied for money, now making it the honest way by bussing tables, cleaning floors, and serving refreshments. There's a grand reopening ceremony that sees practically all of the city of Gaoling in attendance as Guohan rushes around the kitchen shouting orders to his cooking team and pulling a variety of baked goods out of the oven while reaching over and pouring a glass of tea just like Okuran used to do. Mika, feeling much more confident in her waterbending, keeps dishes clean, quickly moving from the kitchen to the guests and back again at record pace, her new best friend Chikra barely able to dry them as fast as Mika can get them refreshed. While the other Coyote Boar members bust dirty dishes from empty tables, allowing new guests to come in and sit down, Brock lifts heavy serving trays filled with food and cups of tea and skillfully slides through the filled tables, dipping down to give each customer their orders while flexing his muscles, causing many of the patrons to swoon as he does, while Sora glares jealously from her spot behind the register. A few days later, a small package arrives in the mail addressed from the Yotaku family, who is requesting their favorite tea shop to cater an upcoming party the head of the family is hosting. The gang begins the necessary preparations to prepare for this while still maintaining the day-to-day services of the tea shop. When the day arrives, the party, and more importantly, the refreshments supplied by the Blissful Brew, are a big hit, securing the tea shop's popularity not only in Gaoling, but in the region. Many of the rich and wealthy partygoers who traveled from other Earth Kingdom towns and cities comment on how they wish they had a Blissful Brew shop instead of the dreadful hot leaf juice restaurants
still
they
a
have.
Thing?
They still exist, absolutely. On one particular night, as a handful of patrons finish the last few sips of tea, nothing but crumbs of scones and muffins left on the plates as they sigh with contentment, the doors of the tea shop fly open as a disheveled-looking man hovels inside. Brock stops wiping down a table. Guo, mid-count on today's profits, pauses and looks up from his stack of coins. Mika in the back has already finished cleaning the dishes and garnishes a quizzical look as she makes her way around the partition wall to glance at the scene unfolding. The man takes a step forward and stumbles narrowly, catching himself from ending up on the floor as he awkwardly straightens himself up and clutches at a nearby table to steady himself. He looks past messy hair and throws his hands into the air, bringing it down to point towards Guo at the register.
I say, what does a guy have to do to get himself a drink around here?
Hey everyone, Skylar the Game Master for Benders Brews and the Creative Director over at Session Zero Heroes here. I just wanted to give you a quick outro before you head over to the next episode or call it a day. Firstly, thank you so much for listening to our show. It means so much to us to have such amazing people like yourself that enjoy the content that we produce. Without you, there really wouldn't be much point in all the work that we put into recording, editing, and sharing our TTRPG sessions with all of you. With that being said, we would love it if you would throw some love our way and drop us a review or a rating or whatever it is called wherever you're listening to the show, based on whatever platform that allows you to leave reviews and leave recommendations. It means a lot to us to get to hear why you love the show we make, and it also helps the show reach other listeners as well, allowing us to grow our community. So, if you're feeling especially generous, you could even go as far as to share our show to your friends and family who also enjoy TTRPG actual play podcasts. It's really expensive for us to be able to advertise, and we don't do much of it, so it's a lot more help to have you guys share it with people that you know will enjoy it, and then they can join in the community that we're creating. That would make you a Session Zero hero yourself. And additionally, we'd love to have you stop by on one of our various social platforms and interact with the channel there. You can find Session Zero Heroes on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Discord. We post all sorts of updates, clips, and even the occasional behind the scenes look at what we're up to. And if you're ever looking for information on SZH, or you don't use a podcast streaming site but you want to listen to our shows, you can do so by checking out our website at sessionzeroheroes.com. And while you're there, you can find out about the cast and the crew that make our show and provide the players' voices in all of our various series. And if you're feeling especially cheeky, you can check out our merch store, where we have a ton of designs and products to choose from, all of which help us pay the bills and keep the lights on. So once again, thank you all so much for listening, and remember to stay curious, stay heroic, until we roll again.